Hello, my sweet friend. I am Cristina Arevalo, cake business, productivity coach, and podcaster. I help cake makers like you manage your business productively and with ease, taking control of your time and workflow to avoid stress and burnt out. I offer personalized strategies and supportive community to help you stay organized, productive, and in charge of your success. Your cake business should bring you joy, not stress. I'm here to help you build an efficient, successful, and sustainable business without feeling overwhelmed and burned out. With the right planning, strategies, and mindset, you can reach your goals, stay organized, and enjoy the journey. Let's make your cake business work for you, not the other way around. Today, we have the first part of the Cake International 2026 interview, and we have with us Melanie Underwood, David Close, and Jane Hatton, head of the show, heads of the Cake International competition, and head of the Bake International competition. I'm really happy to have them here and to answer not only my questions, but the questions of many of my audience who decided to ask a few things about the competition this year. This is the first part. As the interview was a bit long, I decided to divide it in two episodes. So stay tuned for next week's episode for the second part of this interview. And I really hope that you enjoyed today's conversation with them. We talk about the schedule for both competitions and we talk about what's coming this year at Cake International. And I want to give a special thank you to Cake Art Magazine by Sophia Fox for sponsoring today's episode. Please enjoy. Hi there. If you like this podcast and enjoy this episode, there's only one thing I ask from you. Please follow this podcast, download this episode, and leave me a started review in any of your favorite podcast platforms where you're listening to this show now. This way, the algorithm will show the podcast to more cake artists who will benefit from, and you'll be helping me grow this show. And don't forget to share it on social media and tag me, and I'll gladly follow you back. I would love to hear what you have to say. Leave me a comment on Spotify or answer any of the questions and polls on the episode. Let me invite you to follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok as the Art Cake Coach, or follow the links on the show notes to find out more ways to stay connected. Visit www.theartcakecoach.com for more. Well, hello, my sweet friends, and welcome to another episode of the Art Cake Coach podcast. Christina here, and I'm super happy to be here again another year with the whole team of Cake International. Melanie Underwood, Jane Hatton, and David Close. How are you guys today?
Yeah, very good. Thank you.
Good, yes.
Well, it's a pleasure having you here again. Another year for Cake International. And of course, we want to know everything. We want to know about the schedule this year. We want to know about the competition. We want to know about the awards. We want to know everything. And what are we going to expect this year in Cake at Cake International again? So again, it's always a pleasure to have you guys here. How's everybody doing? Melanie?
Yes, I'm good, thank you. Yes.
Good. How's the preparation of the event this year?
Yeah, it's eventing. It's beginning. It's like climbing a big mountain. I think I've said this before. So yeah, I'm just at the bottom at the moment of the mountain. So I'm sure I'll make it to the top by the time it comes. I normally do.
Oh, of course you will. Of
You
course
will.
you will. And we are all waiting to see what's gonna happen this year with Cake International. There have been a few changes. Like we have a new logo.
We do have a new
Yeah. So tell me
logo.
about that. Tell me about the new logo.
We wanted to merge the cake and the bake part.
Mm.
And I wanted something almost regal looking. So I do rather like the new logo. We've got Cake and Bake International, then the little crown above it. So yeah, I love it actually. So that was the reason we wanted to merge, because we had Cake International and Bake International. And when you're talking about it's really long winded. So just for ease, really, to merge the two together and call it Cake and Bake International. So
Yeah, and I think it's great because it doesn't feel like two separate things. It feels like really it's one whole thing. And
yeah, Yeah, I mean, I suppose it always has been one whole thing, hasn't
Yeah.
it?
Mm.
My aim is still to have it separate, have Cake International and Bake International in the future, but it's a slow process. So hopefully one day we'll reach the height and Bake International in one hall and Cake International in the other halls. But we're not there yet. So at the moment it's merged.
Oh, that's good to know. That's good to know that
Right.
that's the idea. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
it's
good.
fine.
That's good. That's good. Now, Cake International has been a pillar for our cake industry for decades now. How long has it been? 30, how many years this year?
Since 1994, isn't it? So is it? How old am I? How old?
Ooh, oh, don't even answer that,
Oh, we
Melanie.
don't need that. We need to know about Cake International. We don't need to know how old you are.
31 years. 30, yeah,
32 is going to be 32 this year,
32
right?
years.
Yeah.
I was
Mm.
when I
Yeah.
started. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this show that has been with us for 32 years already,
Mm,
um, has been an icon in the industry. And all these years to please all the not to please, but to accompany all the changes in the industry, all the new trends and tendencies,
mm,
and now we're dealing with the social media, with online education, global competitions, online competitions, more competitions around the world are coming up again. So
Mm.
um what is the I'm not going to ask you what is the secret, but in general, but this year, what is the secret on to tell us all we have to be at Cake International this year?
Well, I mean, I just think the name speaks for itself, really. But I try not to be arrogant and complacent. And you're always aware of other shows popping up, other competitions popping up. We
Mm.
did going back to the online competitions. We did do an online competition, but that was during COVID, and that was
Mm.
a specific reason to keep Cake International and everybody in touch and feeling good about themselves. We wouldn't do an online competition because we still feel that the best way is obviously for the judges to see the cakes, to taste the cakes, to inspect the cakes all the way around
Mhm.
sides
Mm.
and what have you. What is the? And I know I've lost my train of thought. How do we?
Just what's new? What are we going to expect this year?
What are we going to expect this year? Well, we have sugar screams again, but this year it's going to be a bigger. I'm told much. Well, I know it's much bigger because I've placed it on the floor plan. So it's a much bigger feature this year than it was last year, which was huge. I don't know why they put themselves through all the pain, but there we go. There's
But
gonna be, yeah, we've got the cake catwalk back again, and we're aiming to do it for Friday and Saturday. That's fingers crossed that will work out.
okay,
Mm.
good.
We've got well, Jane will explain about the bake side, but we've got a new junior bake competition that we're introducing.
Oh,
What else do we have? Well, Emma Jane is back with a fabulous feature subject that we'll unveil very very soon, because she needs to start cracking on with that. We've got a really exciting entrance feature with a new, not a new artist. She's been around a while. That makes her sound old. She isn't old, but an established artist, new as far as the entrance is concerned. So we'll be unveiling her soon. Oh gosh, what else do we have? Oh, you always put me on the spot like this, Christina. Um,
I know it's early on. You probably cannot say what is the theme of Sugar Screams, or what is Emma Jane going to do this year. Probably not yet.
no, I think because we haven't unveiled it yet on the website. We haven't put the subjects yet on the website. But yeah, it's Sugar Screams is going to be amazing. Actually,
Mhm.
that's really exciting, and as I said, very big. Karina is brilliant. She is super organised and super professional in how she approaches the features. Actually, she's a pleasure to work with. As is Emma. All of them are actually. What else have we got? We're going to have lots of demos, and I'm just looking at who I can invite as far as the cake, the well-known cake artist concerned, to come to the show as well. So if
Mhm.
you've got any ideas, budget dependent, obviously, then please let us know who you want to see.
Oh, that will be great. Maybe we can do I
Not
don't know, a
me.
post here on the podcast. Tell us idea what do the
Yeah,
audience would like
yeah.
to see? Who do they want to see? Yeah, of
I mean, I
course.
know who David will say, but it's budget dependent, so we've got to.
Who do you want to see, David?
I know
Oh,
who
I like to see the big one. I like to see the chocolatier. You know, the
Amara.
Oh,
exactly. Yes,
wow.
like that would be it.
I would as well, David, but he's 5 figures, so
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
But listen,
Maybe for the
we can
future.
wish. We can wish.
Of course, we can throw it out there to the universe. We don't know what I mean, it could happen.
never
Why not?
know.
Yeah, we never know. We never know.
he is
Yeah.
superb, isn't he? I did contact his agent a few years ago now, before he wasn't anywhere near as well known, and we were negotiating, and it was getting to that point, and it got to the point where he wanted, which I can completely understand, a temperature controlled environment.
Of course.
Whereas we normally get cold, and cold.
Yeah.
So, but maybe one day he can just come as a visitor, and you can just stand there, David, and stroke his arm, can't you?
Yeah. Yeah, but it's understandable that he demands those because of the work he does. So yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but let's think about it. Who we can invite, and maybe if we all get together and start posting to somebody specifically online, is like, we want you at Cake International. Maybe they will do it. I don't know. Why
Yeah.
not?
Like to try and get what people want. Obviously, of course we do. We and the suggestions that come in, and then if we can fulfil that suggestion and get somebody that they want, I mean that's
Mhm.
amazing. That gives me a really good feeling. So perhaps I'll get marketing to put a post on social media and see who we want. But as I said, it is budget dependent. So people will say, "Oh, I don't know." Let's just say off the top of my head, Nigella Lawson. And you
Okay.
no, there's no way we can. So you've got to be realistic as well. So
Again, but we could try. We could try. Why not? Yeah. Talking about picking up on what you just say, you listen to what the people want, what the audience wants. I know there are groups out there that give you the feedback or that tells you how everything goes, and you listen to those groups. What have you heard that you're taking into consideration this year for what's coming on 2026?
well, sorry, I'm doing all the talking. David, step in when you want to.
So
Don't
you're okay, Melanie. You're doing an excellent job there.
You
Crack
do
on.
fine. You do. David, when he will get his chance. He will start talking, and that's it. So yeah, I'm kidding, David. I'm kidding.
Well, last year they wanted more fun events, so we reintroduced. They wanted the Cake Off, so oh yes, the Cake Off will be back again this year. So we reintroduced Cake Off last year, and obviously Cake Catwalk that came about because of Prop Option suggesting that. So yeah, so we listened as far as the
Mhm.
putting more fun into the event was concerned. Um, and we also, as David suggested, we put a post up on social media asking people what they wanted to see in the competition. So we did that, and
Mhm.
a lot of our, which David will tell you, a lot of our categories came about through their suggestions, which is brilliant.
Yeah.
You're saying what have they suggested that we did? Is that what you asked me? What did you ask me? What were you asking?
No, that like what had people suggested from last year to
Oh,
this
right.
year that you have taken into consideration too.
The two prominent things, Cake
Yeah.
Catwalk
Yeah.
and the Cake Off. They did want some more baking demos, which we did again.
Yeah.
I know they want to see more well-known UK artists, which I'm trying to concentrate on as well. So yeah, so
Oh, that's good.
it's always easier when people suggest things.
Of
It
course.
really is. Yeah, absolutely. If we
It's
can do
great because we can
it,
blame them for suggesting them if they don't go well.
look, suggested. Yeah,
That's also true.
but it is easier. Isn't it? It is easier, David, when people suggest, because you know then that you'll hopefully not everyone, because we have 25,000 people at the show, so 25,000 suggestions. But if we can fulfil some of their wants, then
Yeah.
much better.
Yeah. The cake, the cake walk, right? What was the
Cake cake walk. Yes.
exact? That was fun. That was fun, and
Well, great fun,
it
wasn't
was something different. I think people were really enthusiastic about that one.
it? It
Good,
was. Yeah, it was
good.
brilliant. And again, that will be in the theatre sponsored by Renshaw
Hmm.
with prop op get my words out, with prop options involved and myself obviously coordinating it or trying to coordinate it as best I can. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. So many shows, especially in America. I think I talked to you about that, especially in America. So many shows have closed, and some others are kind of picking up again here in Europe. But Cake International stays, so it's uh, it's good to give the people what they want. Now, a lot of people, I mean, I think most of people go to compete, right? And here's where I go with David and Jane. Go to compete to Cake International. um, tell me what's going on. News. What's new this year, competition wise? I
Well,
was looking at the schedule early on. It's
yes.
different. I know you did some updates in there. There's some new categories. So, David, tell me about it.
Mhm.
Well, we did, to be quite honest, we've been working exceedingly hard since November. And sometimes people think when they walk away in November, that's it. It's all finished now. Well, it's not all finished for us because as soon as we go out that door, all the information comes in, feedback comes in, and it sort of says, "What are you doing next year? When's the schedule going to be out?" And you say, "Hold on a minute, I haven't even finished. Give me a break."
Mhm.
And we're working, and we worked exceedingly hard. We tried to get the schedule out by the end of January of this year. I mean,
Mhm.
last year we were sitting around about the 14th of February when we actually announced that the schedule was coming out, and maybe that week.
Mhm.
So we're well ahead of the game, and we're really thinking, and we really appreciate the fact that the competitors and that some of the groups have actually participated in giving us the feedback so that we can come up with the ideas, and some of them are their ideas and put them into the schedule. So I'm going to read out some of my choice ones that's coming out for this year. So I've got here, for example, the grand stage. And the grand stage is the Wedding Cake International Design Challenge. Imagine your favorite celebrity is walking down the aisle. What is the cake they would like to have? This is your chance to
Oh,
combine pure elegance with high fashion, innovation to the craft, and show-stopping centerpieces that screams a list of personality. Now, to me,
Mhm.
you just listen to you guys talking about the catwalk. Well, I'm seeing this catwalk on that black tablecloth, on that pink carpet, and I'm imagining, and that's what we're going to see, and I think that's going to be amazing. And then, you know, I do like to go to music festivals. Haven't been to Glastonbury, but I was thinking maybe I'll go Glastonbury 2026. Well, they're not having one. Do you know what? Then why not? Let's get ready to rock. Bring in the channel, the mud, the music, the magic, the world's most iconic festival into a two-tier masterpiece from the pyramid vibes to the bohemian flair. Let's celebrate everything on the stage at Cake International. And that's a fabulous, I think, and it came out from one of the individuals, and they said, well, let's not just do, what about just doing a festival? Hmm,
Mhm.
festival's easy. Glastonbury has that edge, and it's not
Mhm.
going to happen this year, so let's see what we can do and bring it to life. And then I was thinking of, do you know what, we're getting a lot of the is it cake, mind benders,
big trend. It's
hyper
a big
realistic
trend going
exhibits.
on. Yeah, all
Yeah.
the shows online everywhere. Yeah.
So, sort of realistic, then, hyper realistic. Can you fool the eye of the world's toughest judges? This open classes challenges all about the wow factor. Create an object so realistic people won't believe it is edible until such times you cut it in half. And to me, that's really a fabulous selection. And the beauty of it is, and you're going back to last year, and you mentioned about the illusion cake, and you said there might have been
Yeah, because
some
that was one of the questions
some of the
from the audience.
controversy.
Sorry
You
to
said
interrupt you. It was about the hyper realistic cakes because I know there you have two categories. The hyper realistic and you have the handbags, which also have to be realistic, right?
yes.
But
So
last year there was some sort of confusion with the theme, and people went directly to the is it cake thing and just did like I don't know, a turkey, a chicken. I don't know what they
yeah.
did.
And you're quite right there. But if they'd have read the schedule, it said talking about all about technology, old and young. Well, I don't think a turkey's technology, unless I'm wrong.
No.
I could be wrong. So it is. It's always about read the schedule. When you've done that, read the schedule again. So the hyperrealistic. Can you fill the eye of the judge? And the beauty about this particular class is you will have a photograph beside your exhibit. So we are benchmarking the photograph against your exhibit. So we will be judging that. So, and we've not given you, we've not specifically said what you can do. It's your choice. So, I mean, the world is your oyster,
So
and you can do oysters if you wish.
It's like a free topic. I mean, I could
It's
do a
like a
chicken or
free
I could
topic.
do a shoe.
You could do a
Okay.
shoe.
Okay.
Provided when we look at the photograph of your shoe that you've got there on the A4, it must be as close to that as you possibly can. We're looking for perfection. We're looking to say, do you know what? How have they done it? What have they done?
Yeah.
And
like
then you
a
mentioned
fool.
about the
I don't know what it
handbag.
is.
Well, I used to love that. I used to go back thinking about the handbags. Well, I said it to Melanie, and she sort of went, David. I said handbags and high heels. And I got the comment come back to me, David, nobody wears high heels anymore. And I, well, wow.
I
thought,
I for certainly don't. So yeah.
oh. So, is it going to be handbags and trainers? So then, for example, the
That will be
compromise.
something.
Right.
Yeah.
So we decided on a bit of a compromise. So for every fashion out there, the need for a handbag, but your needs to make a master cake. You can see the textures, leathering, stitching, hardware, and create a realistic handbag that's stylish as it is delicious. So that's what we're looking for in that particular class. So yes, is it cake? But you know what? You really want to see the attention to details. And that's what we're really focusing in on this year. And then we've also always got the head judge's wild card.
I have
No.
a question about that because you have two different categories for head
Yes.
judges wildcard,
And we had
right?
two last year as well. We had the bust, and we had my
You had the
favorite
bust
one, which
and the
is
hat. Did you have the hat? Was it
no,
the
it was
hats last
horror.
year? Ah, it was horror. The hats was
Horror.
what, 2 years ago? I forget. Yeah.
And I love horror.
David liked horror.
No, you always love the horror category, and I do too. I do too. My biggest regret is that I cannot participate because of size and travel. That's my only
Yes.
thing because I love that theme as well. Yeah.
It's always the hard bit.
There's a joke. There's a joke there because a few years ago, David said we were talking about what to have in categories, and David said, "I like horror," and I said, "I don't know that. What is that?"
Horror.
I said, "I've never heard of it. What? I don't know what you're talking about." And I was getting more and more irritated with him. It was at the show, I think. I said, "David, I don't know what you're talking about." And he went, horror. And I said, and he said, scary, scary. And I went, do you mean horror?
Okay, so we should imply like a new name for that category.
Yes, it's
Okay?
horror. It's a
Horror.
horror. So anyway, this year we've gone with the head judge's fantasy theme. So enter the realms where the laws of reality don't apply. Summon gods, beasts, or enchanted realms into display that is much literally come to life with sound, light, or music. Make the head judge gasp when your sheer ingenuity. And again, people ask the questions, well, what do you want? Well, we're giving you free range. There's free range here. And the idea is to really expand your knowledge and show us what you can do. Because, be quite honest, there's so much on the market nowadays which makes things a lot easier. People they're not holding on to secrets anymore. They're putting the secrets out and they're letting everybody sort of get the opportunity to test and try these things. And I think it's amazing because with some ingenuity, the world comes to life. The second one we've looked at for the Head Judge Wild Card is the Winter Wonderland theme. And that's because Cake International this year is a week later, so we're nearer to the Christmas.
Yeah.
We've gone away from the we've just passed the Halloween stage and the fireworks stage, and we've done fireworks, we've done Halloween. I mean, and Melanie and the team and I, when we were going through this, we have a list of everything we've done in Cake International over the 30 years, the 32 years. And it's a case of sort of saying, okay, do we reinvent that? Or more than that, is there something more that people want? And, it was such a popular thing because we often look at what's going to be popular to the audience that they will enter. And this gives everybody the opportunity. So capture the icy magic of the season and decorate an exhibit that sparkles with festive charm. This is your opportunity to push boundaries and experience with special effects to create a truly unforgettable frozen world. And do you know what? It's a bit like that Glastonbury one. In my mind's eye, I am seeing a festival come to life. Here, I'm seeing a winter wonderland theme come to life. And it might be interior, indoors. It might be, for example, outdoors. If you think of the Hyde Park and everything else that happens around the world now, and those are the things we're envisaging seeing at the show. Then
Yeah.
we have then the arts and the crafts, and it's the wildlife structured cake. Celebrate the raw beauty of nature, from majestic animals to vibrant natural scenes, using 100% cake to create a lifelike. That's not life size, it's lifelike. Because we've already had some comments.
Oh,
We've
okay,
already had some
okay.
comments. Is that going to be life size? No, it's lifelike. So just put it in a bit of scale and give that a lifelike tribute to the wild. And I think, you know what? I think, it's amazing because we've seen the tigers, the lions, and the cubs, and the foxes, and everything else. This is a golden opportunity where we can actually look at and focus on nature. And you can bring that whole thing to life, not just necessarily focusing on the animals, but focusing on the creativity and the environment around it and how that brings it to life. And then we got thinking and we sort of said, okay, well, let's what about our floral now? Floral's always a popular subject. When we had well over 150, sometimes 200 floral exhibits. So we put our heads together. And I was on a cruise and I seen this magnificent floral display on the entrance of the Queen Mary. And I thought, you know what? I think that would be a fabulous exhibit for Cake International. So I floated the ideas and waited to see the feedback, and it came back, and it seemed to be quite positive. So the ultimate floral showplace collaboration. Teams of up to
Yeah, I was gonna
3
ask you
other
about that.
creators,
There's a
that's 4 in
collaboration for
total,
flowers.
to build a jaw-dropping floral masterpiece. Think massive scale and luxurious textures. This is a statement piece fit for a grand banquet or a ball. To me, that says it all. That's the epitome of looking at it. We did try something similar a few years ago when I went to Wisley and we seen the floral sculptures. And again, I thought that was magnificent, but people didn't get the concept. I think here, collaboration, they will get that.
Yeah.
And then
Probably.
you've got the masterpieces. The masterpieces are the ones I call, for example, the round hand-painted cake. We had a question recently, and it said, can we go back to having flat cakes or square cakes for the hand-painted cake? I said, no, I don't think so. It's a lot more difficult technically to paint on a round cake than it is to do a square or flat cake.
It's a
So turn
different
your
thing,
cake
yeah.
into a canvas. Showcase innovation brushworks and color harmonies by painting a story directly onto your tiers. Claim your spot. Book early. Don't forget, let's mention that we've got the early bird on the 13th of September 2026. So get your designs in now, and that will really help and save you some money. And one of the last ones I want to mention on the Cake International side, and that would be, for example, the royal icing competition. And we've noticed in the past that some of the royal icing categories have slightly deteriorated, but there's still enough vibe, and certainly checking them, strolling through social media lately, there's a lot more royal icing cakes coming up in the style of Joseph Lambeth. So
The
they're doing
Lambeth
it in
cake is very
buttercream.
good, yeah.
So I thought, well, let's have a look at that. If you love that precision piping, this is the moment. Celebrating Joseph Lambeth, English over piping and glorious layers really comes to the fore. Give it that vintage look and bring it to the fore. And that's just some of the ones that we've got in Cake International.
I
Then,
have one more that I wanted to ask you
okay,
about, which is about the flowers. Wafer paper. Wafer paper
yes,
wasn't there last year, was it?
No.
no.
Okay,
However,
so that's a new
well, you're saying that, but when we look at the schedule and we put into the schedule, wafer paper's there every year.
Yeah, it's not the same.
You just don't know where it is. Because if it tends to say can be made from any edible medium.
Okay, it's a possibility, but it wasn't a category in
It
itself.
wasn't a bespoke category. So this year we've gone
Oh,
back to the bespoke category of the edible flower.
okay.
And, I think it's massive. But we already had one comment, and somebody said, oh, you haven't got any edible rice paper or wafer paper flowers. I said, no, but they would like to see wafer paper in things like, for example, decorative exhibit. There's nothing in the schedule that says you can't do that.
No, yeah, exactly.
So again, we're trying to give everybody as much as what we possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
And then we moved on to the
Mm,
next category. And the next one we thought was, okay, so that's Cake International. That's the 26 categories that we've got this year, just
yeah,
on Cake International schedule. That leaves us nicely on to then the juniors. So we thought, do you
yeah.
know what? The juniors are the future. Are we being a little bit too hard on the juniors? Is there something that we need to do as an organisation to make sure that more juniors attend Cake International? So
Mm-hmm.
we got our heads together and we've come up with a new scoring regime specifically for juniors.
Okay.
So they're not being benchmarked against the Cake International, they're being benchmarked against their own scoring system as a junior. And I think that's going to be fabulous. And then we thought, you know what, why don't we just tailor this as if the junior, because we get all the questions like, we're going to put a schedule out. Okay, so mum, dad, parent, guardian, can you read the schedule for me because it's too complicated for me for a junior? So we thought, let's make it more junior friendly. So we designed it and came up with the model that you've currently got for the juniors. And we've gone
Mm-hmm.
down the route of, for J1, modeling single models, 9 years and under. 9 years of age and under. And I think that's an excellent class because that starts to look at individuals' dexterity and the use of the hands and the use of the mold and the feeling. Okay. So, but that was very good. We also then looked at, well, hold on, they would like to do a cake. Well, let's go big or go bold. Let's go wow. This is their opportunity to do a sculptured or carved cake. And again, we've put caveats in there of give them examples. And we've also added little check sheets this year. So they know exactly what they can and what they can't do and to follow the rules and regulations. We then talked about last year and we looked at, for example, the wedding cake, and it was very popular, that wedding cake for juniors. So we put it out and we gave it a range, and the range came back and people were saying, well, slightly high. I've got a 13-year-old who would like to really do that class, but they're 14. So then we called it the Teen Wedding Cake Challenge. So from the age
Okay.
of 13 to 17.
Mm-hmm.
And 17 can be up to 17 and 364 days if you really want to play on it.
Okay.
So again, that gives them the opportunity, and it also gives them the possibility to take that next step for the next year if they are at the age of 17, where they're going into the open categories and what we call open categories, where it's an open class and you're then at that senior level and you can go through. Then we
Okay.
thought, well, what about those individuals who don't necessarily like doing cakes, don't like doing modeling, but do like doing something like drawing or painting? So we decided to do the Junior Plaque Challenge. And we've given that from 9 to 17 years again, 17 years, 364 days. So again,
Okay.
that would be marked at theirs. So then, what did we have missing? Well, there was only one category that we could think of. Aren't the juniors also doing flowers? So we decided, okay, well, let's look at a teen floral challenge between the age of 13 and 17 and 364 days, and put that in and see how they go. So I think you've heard
David,
enough
and
about me and my size.
that 17,300, I don't know how many days you're telling. Is that by the time that you book the cake or by the time you present the cake? That you booked
At
your
your
ticket
at the presentation. So if you want to enter the
at the
cake and you're going to
presentation?
be
Okay, just
17 and 364 days on the day
okay.
of
Can
the
my inner
competition.
child do something like that? My
Yes.
inner child feels 17. Can he do it?
No.
No, I cannot. Very good. That's good. You really gave a big thought about the juniors, and I think that's really nice because they are. Um, we need new generation. We need new blood in this cake industry, right? Uh, Now with the social media, with everything going on, I think it's more appealing to them, if you could say so. And last year, I remember, even when I was doing the demos, during the event on that weekend, there were a lot of kids around,
Mm.
juniors, kids, teenagers, asking, interested, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, I like it. I like to do that. And even their parents didn't bake anything, but they were interested in that. So I think it's great that you took a lot of thought into
Yeah,
the
and I think that's the
juniors.
reason we also, when we came to Jane's section on the bake side, we said, well, hold on a minute, let's look at that. And Jane will explain that.
I was going
Mm.
to ask that, Jane. Is there a junior
Yeah.
category for baking as well?
Yes.
Yes, we have. This was new this year completely because we noticed that there were some young people that had entered the main bake competitions, and we felt that perhaps they were a bit of a disadvantage in that the mark sheet was quite high for them, and
Mm,
also a lot of them came to us and said we'd like to do it, but they're nervous about it. So
mhm,
putting on a bake competition purely for the children, and again we looked at the age categories and presented, thought about what they could do at that age. And I actually started watching the Junior Bake Off because I thought that would be quite a good way to see what they're doing um, currently. And so what we've done is we've looked at we've put on one, two, three, four categories. So they're all completely new this year. And we've put on a savoury category, which is quite
mm,
exciting because I thought we've got nothing savoury in the adults at all.
mhm,
So I thought for the juniors, we could put in a savoury, and we went for a savoury scone because that is something you can play around with and add savoury ingredients into, and it'd be something that they would probably make for the weekend or something. So we've
mhm,
put that in a 9 to 12 category, so they can create their own savoury scone. We had a lot of discussion about this last week when we did our live, because I got a bit carried away and I thought, I kind of, in my head, it was a cheese scone and it's actually a savoury scone. So
okay.
they were joking with me and said, Jane wants cheese. But you could use all sorts of things, other than cheese. But, yeah, so it's a savoury, and we left it that open so they could play about with ingredients and try something new. Um, and then on the 9 to 12-year-old as well, we put on a buttercream gatto because these are sort of things that are really currently trending. And the children want to do it as well. They want to have a go. And
Mhm,
so we put a buttercream gatto on where
mm,
we've asked them to I'm just trying to find it, asked them to put in a rosette. So we'd look at piping skills. We asked them to do a little finishing off piece that would make it look attractive, a little model or something, so that they can experience not only the coating, but also the skills that are involved in that as well, and piping. So
mhm,
it gives them an introduction to it. And we believe that they'll be looking on the internet, they'll be looking on YouTube's, because they're very adapt to all this now. And, years ago, you wouldn't have thought about children doing anything like this. So to really get them involved is absolutely marvelous. And to get them baking is even better, I think.
yeah.
Um, So we've gone with a gatto as well for the 13 to 17-year-old because there will be different sort of skill sets for that. So it gives them the opportunity to work within their own age group to get to the standard we're looking for. And then the other one we've got is a biscuit. So we've put in Viennese biscuits, which are going to be sandwiched. So we've given them size that we want the biscuit to be. We've told them what the filling is going to be. So although everyone's got, they'll all use perhaps a different recipe, but we've given them a specific area we want them to work within. And so this gives us a good benchmark for everybody, really, and from a judging point of view as well. So it's quite exciting, I think, to put on 4 categories for the juniors,
Yeah.
and we're really looking forward to seeing how they, how this is taken up, because I think it gives them opportunity. So, because not everybody wants to decorate, but some people just like to bake. So I think it's
Sure.
great that we can offer that, really.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's
Oh,
all
that
new.
is so true, Jane. And I think more and more, I mean, if you see social
Yeah.
media, look at social media, baking is gaining a lot of terrain in the, in the
Oh yeah.
interest of people.
Yes.
Even more than the decorating, which is sad for me because I love the decorating part. That's the part that I love the most. But you see, like more and more businesses, there are just cookies or just
Mm,
scones, just
yeah.
cupcakes, simple treats, but they're really taking over, especially on social media, and
Yeah.
is people is getting interested in that. So
Yeah.
that's very nice that you're
Yeah.
Christina,
doing
can I
that
just tell you what the
for the junior.
difference? Christina, can I just tell you what the difference for
Hmm.
this year's awards for the junior is, so you've got an idea of how we're tailoring it? And that's, for example, if you get no award, then you're getting below 39 marks.
Mm,
If you get a merit, you're getting between 40 and 49 marks. If you get a
Mm.
bronze, you're getting between 50 and 64 marks. If you get a silver, you're getting between 65 and 84. And if you get a gold, you're getting above 85 to 100. So you can see that we're really
mm,
focusing on the juniors. And,
mm,
it's their awards. It would be classified as a junior gold, etc., etc. But it
mm,
really gives them the
Okay.
opportunity to achieve something.
mm,
Hmm.
And
Yeah, to
the
feel that that they got an award and that
mm.
they achieved. Great, awesome. And what else is new, Jane, for Bake
so
International?
the
Because
Well,
last year I remember from 2 years ago to last year, it was an exponential growth in the amount of cakes at
huge.
Bake International. I was like, whoa,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
way more baking here. That
Yeah.
that was really
And when
nice.
we started, we honestly, we had the tiniest little table, really, and we had like half a dozen entries for the pastries, and we had, I think, 2 entries for bread. I think we had, I can't remember all the numbers, but it was very small.
Hmm.
The following year, we more or less doubled it. And last year, I think, Mel, I think if I'm right, we probably tripled it with the entries that we had, which was very, very exciting.
Hmm.
And there is definitely a growth area here, which is wonderful, really. We've also made changes as we've looked at each year.
Hmm.
We've made changes, and we've realised one particular one we made a big change on was the bread one, because from a technical point of view, we asked people to produce a white loaf and a wholemeal loaf. Well, it got into such a muddle that people didn't understand what a wholemeal loaf was,
Oh.
and it was illegally, we're bound in this country if the wholemeal bread is wholemeal flour with no other additions to, and not another type of flour added. So you can't put wholemeal and white flour together. It has to be all wholemeal. Everyone got a bit confused about that, and I thought, we've got to look at how people are reading and we want them to enter. So we changed the word to brown bread, which opens it up actually, because then you can mix your wholemeal with other flours. And so from that, we had some fantastic bread last year
Hmm.
because people have now got to understand what we're looking for. So we've brought in another competition which brings in a technical element to the bake-off, and that is Battenberg. Now,
Oh.
Battenberg, I absolutely love Battenberg myself. It's just a wonderful cake. So we've asked them to think about. We're looking for precision here. We're looking for all four parts of the sponge to be exactly the same size. We're looking for them to be sandwiched correctly, and we've put down specific things that we expect of them, like using apricot jam to be your glue, if you like, and not any other jam. We don't mind if they make their own marzipan or they buy it. That won't really matter. But what we're looking for is precision and a good tasting Battenberg as well. So we thought we'd put in a chat, and somebody had asked again about Battenberg. So we listened to what people were saying and what they would like to see, and this was one of them. And we thought actually that's a good technical challenge for us to judge against. So again, we've given specific sizes so that they have to work within the criteria of the size that we've given them,
Yeah.
because that's part of the technical challenge, really.
Mhm.
So that we've given parameters for everything because that's important. But for some things, like on the technical, it's very particular.
Yeah, very precise.
So yeah,
It
we've put in a carrot cake this year. So we've taken away the what do we take away, David?
Well,
Can't remember. We've got lemon cake, chocolate cake. Anyway, we put in carrot cake
Was it
because
the drip?
it was the drip. Oh yeah, it was a drip cake because often people either did it chocolate, coffee, lemon, chocolate. So yes, it was a drip cake.
the drip.
So we changed that. Nothing to say you can't drip a carrot cake, but we thought it'd be nice to see how people view a carrot cake, really,
Okay.
and also for a different method as well with a carrot cake,
Yeah.
and different textures. Um, and there's lots of recipes out there, so looking
Yeah.
forward to that one.
I was
We
going
had
to ask you about
discussion.
that because I remember last year we had some sort of not discussion, but we discussed about the fruit cake
Yeah,
because there are
so yeah,
many different recipes of fruit
yeah,
cakes depending on the
yeah,
country. And the same happens with carrot cake. Like for
it does.
example, my
Yeah,
recipe of carrot cake is very American.
yeah.
And it here in Portugal, the carrot cake is more like puree cake
All
than
right. Yeah.
carrot. So you see an orange cake and that's it. And you
All
have
right.
like,
Yeah.
the cinnamon taste or whatever, but not the pieces of carrot like you would have in a more
Yeah.
American recipe cake. So there are different types of carrot cake. Is it
There
okay
are. Yeah,
to
some are more
just
spiced than others. So yeah, so that's going to be interesting.
okay?
Yeah, but we had a discussion on live last week, which I have researched a little bit more, and that was on. We've asked for them to not use cream cheese
Okay.
because if the health and safety issues
Mm-hmm.
regarding it, it needs to be refrigerated.
Mm-hmm.
And so there are some products now on the market, and I've looked into them to double check that they are okay. And that's using cheesecake flavorings.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of them out there actually. So I wanted to just we said we'd come back to people on that to say that would be safe to use. It's
Okay.
not a reconstituted dry powdered cheese, which
Mm-hmm.
could be a problem. This is more of a flavoring. So there's some good ones out there. I've actually ordered one myself to test it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just for say health and safety from our point of view. We don't want food poisoning. So
Please do
yeah.
not poison the judges. Thank you.
No, don't poison the judges.
We
Can
don't
I
want
just
that.
highlight the rich fruit cake because we made a change on that.
Okay.
In
Okay.
that we changed it to an English style
Oh.
rich fruit cake
Okay.
because again we're very conscious that there are many different versions, but what we don't want is a pureed fruit.
Mm.
Um, we want to see the fruit because actually when we're judging, it's when you cut through the cake, we're actually looking at texture as well as flavour and the bake. But we can also tell if something's been overbaked by the way the fruit is inside the cake. And
Mm-hmm.
if it's blown, or dried, or it's got a big hole in it, we know that the oven's been too hot. So there's various things. So we wanted to just clarify that the naked rich fruitcake is actually of an English style,
Okay.
and we put that in. So, but that's a good class, and it's very popular class. Um, and yes, it smells lovely when you stand over it. You can smell all the brandy and the rum and
Yeah,
everything.
it's true. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
But it's good at least that you keep it clear, so people don't get then like, oh,
yeah.
but this is also a fruitcake or whatever.
Yeah.
Because they
It's
heard.
difficult. We're an international competition,
Mm-hmm.
and so we have to have a broad sort of idea of different products from different places, but
Yeah,
we also want to make it clear what we are looking for as judges as well. And
yeah.
we're trying to be innovation is big at the moment, really big,
Mm-hmm.
especially in the baking industry.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone is innovating. And so we want to allow that to happen, but we also want to have certain things that are very specific as well. So
I think as long as is it clear under
it's
the
clear, yeah,
schedule and for the competitors,
yeah,
it's fair. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Of course,
yeah.
as Cake International, I think that was part of the discussion last year. As
Mm,
Cake International, given that the name,
mm,
some people will say, "Oh, but this is international, and in my country, the fruit cake or the carrot cake or
yeah,
whatever is this way." Well, if it is clear in the rules, it is clear in the rules, right?
mm, mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Hey, cake friend, before you go, if you've been enjoying this episode and you are ready to take your cake business to the next level, I would love to invite you to join the Art Cake Coach Podcast Club on Spotify. Inside, you'll get access to over 17 exclusive audio classes and time management, goal setting, money mindset, and more. Everything you need to feel organized, confident, and balanced in your cake journey. And you will get one more extra class each month. You can unlock it right here on Spotify. Just tap on the link in the description of this episode.